Have you ever been with someone who enjoyed your presence, but never really saw your soul? Picture this moment. You're there, present, radiant, offering all of your essence. And there's someone beside you who appreciates your company, who smiles with you, who even says beautiful words. But there's something you feel, something that echoes in the silence between his words, an absence, as if you were a song playing on the radio, pleasant to hear, but never truly listened to. Have you felt this? This sensation of being there, completely present, yet invisible at the same time, as if the person was seeing an edited version of you, beautiful, convenient, comfortable, but never the whole woman you truly are. This is the silent pain that millions of women carry, the pain of not being truly seen, not just noticed, not just desired, but deeply recognized in all your complexity, beauty, and worth. And here's what Bob Proctor taught us that might hurt at first, but will set you free. You attract what you believe about yourself, not what you say you want. Let that truth resonate for a moment. You don't attract what you say you want. You attract what you believe about yourself in the deepest layers of your being. So if you're constantly attracting men who can't see your true value, who can't honor who you really are, there's something happening at a much deeper level, something that was planted long before they appeared in your life. Let's travel together for a moment. Come back with me to your childhood, those early years when you were learning what it meant to be seen, to be valued, to be loved. Maybe you remember moments when your voice was silenced, when your emotions were considered too much, when you learned that to be accepted, you needed to become smaller, quieter, more convenient. Or perhaps you remember watching other women around you, your mother, your aunts, women you admired, and you saw how they contorted themselves to fit others' expectations, how they dimmed their own light so as not to disturb, how they traded pieces of themselves for crumbs of approval. These weren't just experiences. They were programmings. They were paradigms being recorded in your subconscious, creating beliefs that today, silently, govern your love life. And one of these beliefs, perhaps the most destructive of all, is this: I must be more to be enough. I need to be more beautiful to be chosen. I need to be more understanding to be loved. I need to be more accommodating to be accepted. I need to be more of everything, except more myself. This belief is like a vibrational virus that infects every interaction you have. It makes you approach relationships already from a place of deficiency, already trying to fill a void that doesn't even exist, except in your own perception, to immediately start adapting, adjusting, becoming what you think he wants. Here's the metaphor I want you to visualize. Imagine you are a rare diamond, multifaceted, with a unique inner light that no one else in the world possesses. But for years, you've been wearing foggy glasses that distort your own image. When you look in the mirror, you don't see the diamond, you see something that needs to be polished, improved, fixed. And then you go out into the world wearing those same foggy glasses, trying to attract someone who sees your value, but how could they see what you yourself cannot perceive? Your energy, your vibration is constantly transmitting, I am almost enough. I am almost worthy. I am almost deserving of true love. And the universe, which responds precisely to your vibration, sends you men who reflect exactly that belief. Men who see you as almost. Men who appreciate you, but don't adore you. Men who enjoy your company, but don't feel inspired to fully commit to you. It's not because you're not incredible. It's because your own subconscious programming doesn't allow you to radiate the frequency of a woman who knows her worth deeply. And here's where the cycle becomes even more painful. The more you attract men who can't see you completely, the more you convince yourself that you need to be more attractive, more interesting, more available, more of everything except more authentic. You find yourself in an exhausting dance, constantly trying to prove your worth instead of simply inhabiting it. You become a performer of your own life, always on stage, always trying to impress, never resting in the certainty that who you are, exactly as you are, is extraordinary. Have you ever caught yourself obsessively checking your phone, analyzing every word of a text message, trying to decipher if he really likes you? Have you ever found yourself changing your plans, your opinions, even your clothes to fit what you imagine he wants? This is the price we pay when we live in the paradigm of, I must be more to be enough. We lose ourselves in the process of trying to be chosen. But here's the truth that will begin to set you free. The right man for you doesn't want you to be more. He wants you to be you, completely, courageously, undeniably you. And he can't find that version of you until you find her first. Your journey isn't about becoming more attractive to men. It's about reconnecting with the woman you've always been, the woman who exists beyond all the programming, beyond all the attempts to fit in, beyond all the masks you've learned to wear. When you begin to truly see yourself, when you begin to inhabit your own worth so completely that you don't need external validation, something magical happens in your energetic field. You stop transmitting, "Please choose me," and start emanating, "I am already chosen by myself, by I." But it's the most powerful transformation you can make. Because when you stop trying to be seen and start seeing yourself, when you stop trying to be valued and start valuing yourself, you become magnetic in a way that transcends physical attraction. You become the woman who walks into a room and doesn't scan for approval. You become the woman who speaks her truth without apologizing. You become the woman who sets boundaries not from anger, but from love for herself. And this woman, this version of you, attracts a completely different caliber of man. But first, you have to grieve. You have to grieve the years you spent minimizing yourself. You have to grieve the relationships where you gave more than you received. You have to grieve the version of yourself who believed she had to earn love instead of simply being worthy of it. This grieving isn't weakness. It's liberation. It's the sacred process of releasing old patterns so new ones can emerge. As you sit with these words, as you feel them landing in your heart, notice what's stirring. Notice if there's a part of you that wants to resist, that wants to argue, that wants to maintain the familiar story of, "But if only I could be more." That resistance is your old programming trying to keep you safe in the known, even if the known is painful. But safety isn't found in staying small. Safety is found in coming home to yourself. The woman you're becoming doesn't need anyone to see her worth because she sees it herself. She doesn't need anyone to choose her because she's already chosen herself. She doesn't need anyone to complete her because she's discovering her own wholeness. And, paradoxically, this is exactly the woman who attracts the man who will see her, choose her, and honor her completely. Not because she needs it, but because she's become so magnetic in her own completeness that he can't help but be drawn to her light. What moment in your life taught you that your value depended on someone else's recognition? Take a breath. Feel into that question, and know that whatever answer arises, it was just a moment in time, not the truth of who you are. There's a pattern playing out in your life that you might not even realize exists. It's subtle, like a whisper in the background of your relationships, but it's there, shaping every interaction, every connection, every moment of intimacy you experience. You give your energy freely, your attention generously, your heart openly, and they receive it all. They bask in your warmth, they enjoy your company, they benefit from your presence in their lives. But something is missing, something essential. Close your eyes for a moment. I want you to feel into something with me. Imagine yourself walking into a room, not scanning for approval, not wondering if you look okay, not hoping someone will notice you. Instead, you is deep. There's a softness in your eyes that comes from self-acceptance, and a strength in your posture that comes from self-respect. You're not trying to be seen. You're not trying to be chosen. You're not trying to be anything other than fully, authentically yourself. And in that moment, something magical happens. People are drawn to you, not because you're trying to attract them, but because you're radiating something that has become rare in this world: genuine presence. This is the energy of a woman who has been chosen, not by a man, but by herself. First, by herself. Bob Proctor said, "You don't get what you want. You get what you are aligned with." For too long you've been aligned with wanting to be chosen. Now it's time to align with being chosen. By life, by love, by the divine feminine energy that flows through you every moment of every day. What does it mean to be chosen by yourself? It means you've stopped abandoning yourself for others. It means you've stopped betraying your own needs for someone else's comfort. It means you've stopped negotiating with your own worth. The woman who has been chosen by herself has a different relationship with men entirely. She doesn't need them to complete her because she's discovering her own completeness. She doesn't need them to validate her because she's learned to validate herself. She doesn't need them to see her worth because she sees it so clearly that it's undeniable. This woman is not cold or distant. She's not playing hard to get or trying to be unavailable. She's simply full of her own love, full of her own life, full of her own purpose. And when you're full, you don't need anyone to fill you. You can choose to share your fullness with someone who adds to it, rather than someone who drains it. Let me guide you through a visualization that will help you feel into this energy. Imagine you're sitting in your favorite space. Maybe it's your bedroom, maybe it's a garden, maybe it's by the ocean. You're alone, but you don't feel lonely. You feel complete. You're wearing something that makes you feel beautiful, not because someone might see you, but because it brings you joy to feel beautiful for yourself. Your phone is nearby, but you're not checking it. You're not waiting for anyone to text you, call you, or validate your existence. You're simply present with yourself, and that presence feels like enough. In this space, you can feel your own energy. It's warm, it's powerful, it's magnetic. It's not reaching out desperately for connection. It's radiating contentment and inviting connection. Now, from this place of fullness, imagine a man approaching you. But notice how different this feels from your usual interactions with men. You're not immediately wondering what he thinks of you. Energy. If he can meet you in this place of wholeness. If he has the capacity to honor what you're offering. You're interviewing him energetically to see if he's worthy of your time, your attention, your heart. This is the radical shift that changes everything. You stop auditioning for love and start choosing love. The woman who lives from this energy has new internal patterns. Her thoughts have shifted from, "I hope he likes me," to, "I wonder if I like him," "I hope I'm enough for him," to, "I wonder if he's enough for me," "I hope he chooses me," to, "I wonder if I'll choose him." This isn't arrogance. This is alignment. This is what happens when you remember that you are not the one who needs to prove yourself worthy of love. You are the gift that love has been waiting for. Bob Proctor taught us about paradigm shifts, and this is the ultimate paradigm shift for women. Moving from, "Please love me," to, "I am already love and love matches me." When you operate from "I am already love," everything changes. Your energy becomes magnetic because you're not trying to get love from others. You're offering love from your overflow. Men feel this difference immediately. The desperate energy that used to repel them is gone. The needy vibration that used to attract takers has been replaced by something much more powerful. The energy of a woman who knows she's a prize. And here's what happens when you embody this energy consistently. You stop attracting men who want to benefit from you without honoring you. You stop attracting men who see you as an option rather than a priority. You stop attracting men who take your energy without giving equally in return. Instead, you start attracting men who are inspired by your wholeness, men who see your boundaries as beautiful rather than inconvenient, men who want to add value to your already full life rather than trying to extract value from it. You attract men who pursue you not because you're running away, but because they recognize quality when they see it. You attract men who make effort, not because you're making them prove themselves, but because they genuinely want to earn your respect. You attract men who see you as the woman they've been preparing themselves for, not the woman they can have while they figure out what they really want. This is the energy of a woman chosen, not chosen by any random man, but chosen by the right man, the man who has been doing his own work, who has been preparing himself to receive and honor a woman of substance. But here's the most important part. This man cannot find you until you find yourself. He cannot choose you until you choose yourself. He cannot see your worth until you see it so clearly that it becomes impossible to miss. The journey to becoming this woman isn't about changing who you are, it's about remembering who you've always been. Underneath all the programming, all the fear, all the desperate attempts to be lovable, you were born whole. You were born deserving of the deepest love, the most genuine respect, the most beautiful partnership. Somewhere along the way, you forgot this truth. But forgetting doesn't make it less true. Now you're remembering. Now you're coming home to yourself. Now you're stepping into the energy of a woman who doesn't need to scream her worth because she lives it so fully that silence speaks it for her. You don't need to announce that you're valuable. You don't need to list your accomplishments. You don't need to prove your worthiness. You just need to be so aligned with your own worth that it becomes the foundation from which you live, love, and choose. When you live from this place, you become irresistible, not because you're trying to be, but because authenticity combined with self-love is the most magnetic force in the universe. The man who is meant for you will feel this energy and be drawn to it like a moth to flame, not because he needs you to complete him, but because he recognizes in you the woman he's been preparing himself to love. He won't be intimidated by your wholeness. He'll be inspired by it. He won't try to diminish your light. He'll want to shine alongside it. This is the love you've been waiting for, not the love that comes from desperation, not the love that comes from convenience, but the love that comes from recognition. Soul recognizing soul, wholeness meeting wholeness, love celebrating love. And it all begins with you choosing yourself so completely that unchosen becomes impossible. You are not the woman who begs for crumbs of affection. You are not the woman who accepts less than she deserves. You are not the woman who shrinks herself to fit into someone else's small vision of who she should be. You are the woman who knows her worth and expects the world to honor it. You are the woman who gives from overflow and requires reciprocal energy. You are the woman who has been chosen by life itself to experience love at its most beautiful. What part of you are you ready to stop hiding so you can finally be fully seen? Take a moment to feel into that question, because the part of you that you've been hiding is probably the most beautiful part of you. It's the part that makes you uniquely you. It's the part that the right man is waiting to discover. Stop hiding your depth because you think it's too much. Stop hiding your sensitivity because you think it's too intense. Stop hiding your standards because you think they're too high. The right man isn't intimidated by your depth. He's fascinated by it. He isn't overwhelmed by your sensitivity. He's moved by it. He isn't threatened by your standards. He's inspired to meet them. You don't need to dim your light to make others comfortable. You need to shine it so brightly that it calls forth the people who are meant to be in your life. The woman you're becoming doesn't apologize for being extraordinary. She doesn't minimize her gifts to make others feel better about themselves. She doesn't hide her magic to fit in with mediocrity. She lives fully, loves deeply, and chooses consciously. And in doing so, she becomes magnetic to the love she truly deserves. This is who you are. This is who you've always been. Welcome home to yourself. Honor. Deep, genuine honor for who you are. Not what you do for them, not how you make them feel, not how convenient you are to have around, but who you are at your core. Why does this keep happening? Why do you attract men who see you as a blessing in their lives but never as the prize you truly are? Here's what's happening on an energetic level that might surprise you. Your vibrational field is unconsciously advertising your availability to be taken from, rather than your worthiness to be cherished. Let me explain what I mean by this. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every emotion you carry creates a frequency. And that frequency is like a radio station broadcasting into the universe 24/7. Most people are completely unconscious of what their frequency is saying. Your frequency might be saying, "I'm here to make your life better. I'm here to support you. I'm here to be what you need." And while these are beautiful qualities, when they come from a place of trying to earn love rather than sharing love, they attract takers instead of givers.
Bob Proctor taught us something profound. Paradigms run your life, unless you consciously rewrite them. The paradigm that's been running your love life is the paradigm of compensation. You learn somewhere along the way that love is something you earn through service, through sacrifice, through making yourself indispensable to others. This paradigm tells you that you must prove your worth through what you give, not celebrate your worth through who you are. When you don't see your worth, you unconsciously try to earn it and attract people who let you. Think about your last relationship or the one before that. How much of your energy went into trying to show him how valuable you were? How much mental space did you spend figuring out how to make him happy, how to solve his problems, how to be the woman he needed? Now ask yourself this: how much of his energy was spent trying to show you how valuable he was? How much mental space did he dedicate to figuring out how to make you happy, how to solve your problems, how to be the man you needed? If there's an imbalance there, it's not because you're too giving or because you love too much. It's because your energetic frequency is attracting people who are comfortable receiving more than they give. This is the invisible pattern that keeps you in cycles of almost love. You become the woman.
He's kind, he's interesting, he seems to really appreciate you. You start spending time together and it feels good. You start opening your heart, sharing your world, making space for him in your life. Gradually, you notice that you're the one reaching out most of the time. You're the one making plans. You're the one checking in on how he's doing, remembering important things in his life, being emotionally available whenever he needs support. And he receives it all graciously. He tells you how much he appreciates you, how good you are to him, how lucky he is to have you in his life. But somehow, it never translates into the same level of investment from him. You start to wonder, if I'm so amazing, if he's so grateful for me, why doesn't he pursue me the way I pursue him? Why doesn't he make me a priority the way I make him one? The answer isn't that he's a bad person or that you're not worthy of priority. The answer is that your energy is teaching him that he doesn't need to pursue you because you're already pursuing him. You're showing up as the woman who adds value to his life, but you're not requiring him to add equal value to yours. This is what I call the energy of compensation, the belief that you must give more to receive love. And it's deeply feminine to want to give, to nurture, to support. But when giving becomes a strategy for earning love instead of an expression of love, it creates an imbalance that repels the very thing you're trying to attract. The man who will truly honor you isn't looking for a woman who proves her worth through service. He's looking for a woman who knows her worth so deeply that she naturally expects to be honored. There's a difference between a woman who gives from overflow and a woman who gives from emptiness. The woman who gives from overflow is already full. Her giving is a gift, not a negotiation. She gives because she wants to, not because she has to. The woman who gives from emptiness is trying to fill herself through giving. Her giving is a transaction, not a gift. She gives because she believes it will make her worthy of receiving. Can you feel the difference? Can you sense how these two women would feel completely different to be around? The woman who gives from overflow is magnetic because she's not trying to get anything from you. She's not monitoring your response to her generosity. She's not keeping score of how much she gives versus how much she receives. The woman who gives from emptiness is exhausting because she's constantly trying to fill a void through external validation. She's monitoring your response to her generosity. She is keeping score, even if she doesn't admit it. Here's what happens when you shift from compensation energy to integral feminine energy. You stop trying to earn love and start expecting it, not as an entitlement, but as a natural consequence of your worth. You become the woman who is genuinely happy that value to be returned. You become the woman who is generous with her heart, but who doesn't give it away for free. You become the woman who stops answering every text immediately and starts responding when it feels good to respond. You become the woman who stops dropping everything to be available and starts being available when it aligns with your own life. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. This is about honoring your own energy and teaching others to honor it too. When you stop being constantly available, you become valuable. When you stop trying to prove your worth, you become magnetic. When you stop giving from emptiness, you become irresistible. I want you to imagine a woman who wakes up in the morning and her first thought isn't, "I wonder if he texted me." Her first thought is, "How do I want to feel today?" I want you to imagine a woman who receives a last-minute invitation and doesn't automatically say yes. She pauses, checks in with herself, and responds based on what feels authentic to her in that moment. I want you to imagine a woman who listens to a man's problems with genuine care, but who doesn't immediately offer to solve them. She trusts that he's capable of finding his own solutions, and she offers support without taking responsibility. This woman lives in her integral feminine energy. She's not trying to be chosen, she's choosing. She's not trying to be valuable, she knows she's valuable. She's not trying to be loved, she's radiating love. And this woman attracts a completely different type of man. She attracts the man who sees her boundaries as beautiful, not inconvenient. She attracts the man who is inspired by her wholeness, not looking for someone to complete him. She attracts the man who wants to add value to her life, not just receive value from it. But here's what needs to happen first. You need to stop being available to men who only benefit from you without honoring you. You need to stop giving your energy to people who see you as a convenience rather than a blessing. This means saying no to late-night texts from men who don't make daytime plans with you. This means declining invitations that don't feel reciprocal. This means ending conversations with men who talk about themselves for hours, but never ask about your inner world. It means choosing yourself first, not because you're selfish, but because you're teaching the world how to treat you. The energy of a woman who honors herself is irresistible because it's so rare. Most women have been taught to give endlessly, to accommodate constantly, to minimize their needs for the comfort of others. But you're not most women. You're the woman who is ready to step into her integral feminine power. You're the woman who is ready to be cherished, not just appreciated. You're the woman who is ready to stop asking, "How can I make him love me?" and start asking, "How does he plan to earn my love?" If this part stirred